Right, just to mention, I'm having a couple of issues with internet today, and there's some work going on over the road, and I suspect that may be the reason. This is take three. So starting again, and I hope there will be no more unwelcome interruptions. Okay. Good morning. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Friday, the 1st of August. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarket.substack.com, and is published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right. Let's have a look at ES. One thing to mention, of course, normally on the first day of trading day of the month, we have a strongly bullish tape. There are a couple of exceptions to this. August is one of them. We have a bearish leaning tape today with over 60% bearish lean on both SPX and Dow, but fairly neutral on NDX. Okay, let's have a look at ES. ES, we saw the high retest that I was talking about in my post on Wednesday morning. I also did a post this morning, which you should have a look at. That wasn't sustained into the end of the day. So we didn't get any daily negative divergence because there was no second high, but we do have a little level top here which has broken down, and that's got a target here in about the 62, 60, 65 area, and I'm watching this head and shoulder neckline which I've got in about the 62.45 area. No current positive divergence. In NQ, no current positive divergence either. We didn't have a topping pattern here, so I'm not calling any targets below, but I am watching particularly this possible head and shoulder neckline, which is in the 22,600 area. Looking at RTY, we did have a possible double top here, and that has broken down with a target in the 2100 area. Got a little head and shoulder neckline just below that. I like this target. I was watching to see what impact this morning's labour figures have, and while we've actually seen some big moves in bonds and gold, we haven't actually seen really, ES is more or less exactly where it was when the numbers came out. We shall see. So I'm not really seeing anything to suggest this won't, break down on the RTH indices on RTY and YM, so that would be on IWM and Dia at the open, and not seeing anything suggesting these won't make target. We had a little buy signal here, and that failed. YM, no current divergence. We've got another nice looking double top, very nice, and that's broken down with a target in the 42,650 to 42,750 range. Not seeing anything suggest that won't make target. We will see how that goes. Looking at DAX and ESTX, these look like bull flags forming, but you can see we've got this lovely bull flag channel on ESTX, and that has most definitely broken down. So I'm no longer, I am treating this as a bad flag. Bull flag. I'm just treating it as one that has broken down. It's no longer got an obvious target back up at a retest of this high. We will see where it goes. All right, let's have a look at the big picture charts. Now, looking at the hourly charts, SPX made a higher high. I redrew the support trend line again, and now that has broken down again. I think this is the last iteration. That was a little bearish overthrow, and I suspect the retracement is in progress. So we'll see how that goes. Q's pretty much the same. No current divergence. All right, sorry guys, we are having a couple of issues today. But anyway, on the Qs, we got an RSI 14 sell signal fix that hasn't made target yet. The one on SPX has, of course, made the possible near miss target. But again, we saw a breakdown below the revised rising support trend line here, and I'm looking downwards. But we haven't seen any really meaningful support. All right, guys, I'm soldiering on. If this is sounding a bit bitty at your end, that's because I'm having real problems at this end. All right, on the Qs, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fix that hasn't made the possible near miss target yet, but the SPX one has. We've seen a breakdown after I redrew this after we made another retest of the high. But you can see the wedge resistance is solid. It's very, very nice. These are just as nice as I was talking about, and as when I was talking about these on Wednesday morning. Dia, that didn't get a retest, and I wasn't expecting one. We've seen a move down. We got a nice looking double top here, and if equities stay at this same level, and they haven't moved much after we've seen the labour numbers, but if they stay at this kind of level, then this is going to break down at the open today. That's got targets. I was looking at these in the post this morning, so have a look at those. Where I've got basically 44.5 to about 426. as the target area here. Looking at IWM, we didn't see a high retest there either, and we got a nice looking double top, and if all things being equal, that's probably going to break down at the RTH Open towards the target in the 207 area, which is basically where I've got the possible head and shoulder neckline here. So that really is a very nice target area. So we shall see how that goes. All right, looking at the bigger picture charts. Bear with me a moment. All right, the interesting stuff is happening here on the daily middle bands, of course. I've put in all the monthly pivots on everything this morning, so they're all the current ones in case you're wondering. Here we haven't on SPX and Qs, we haven't tested the daily middle band, but we're much of the way back towards them now. In terms of Dire, we'd had a slight break on Wednesday night, but yesterday we actually made it all the way down pretty much to the daily lower band. Now the bands have obviously compressed in this long period of not doing a great deal. But I'm thinking we've got a nice looking double top here. I'd quite like to see it play out. We shall see. Looking at the IWM chart here. Hang on. IWM, we've got again, we had a slight break, significant break below the daily middle band on Wednesday, and we've seen a move down to the daily lower band yesterday. Very much like Dire. So liking the move down, the daily RSI 5 sell signal has made target, and we've still got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fix. I am liking this retracement here. I was talking about it being a very nice setup for it. We're seeing the right moves to start it off. I would like to see it continue. Looking at DAX, we didn't see the retest of the high that I was looking for, and this no longer looks like a bull flag forming, certainly on the futures. I'm expecting, we saw a break below the daily middle band yesterday. I'm expecting that to go harder today. Nikkei, probably going to see more downside as well, so we shall see. I'm expecting to retest this high here at 42.4 later, and I'm thinking we might actually make the IHS target on IWM later, but I'm not expecting to see those in the short term. All right, let's have a look at DX, which has responded strongly to the labour numbers this morning by going down a lot. 6-minute sell signal is probably going to make target today. It was overdue a bit of a retracement. I'm not convinced this is breaking the overall very promising looking uptrend. Looking at USD, very nice rally. GBP USD, nice rally. We had a buy signal here, that's making target. GBP, buy signal, that's making target too. USD JPY, we didn't have a sell signal, nice decline here. I think this is probably just a retracement. I'm not expecting it to change the overall trend, but I could be mistaken. USD CAD, we had the triangle break up. We've come back in here. Do we have an obvious trend line here? Let me see. Not really. So waiting to see if this is of any significance. 60-minute sell signal we already had, and that is making target at the moment. Australian dollar, we had a buy signal, and that's making target at the moment. We got a little level bottom, which is also breaking up towards a target in about the 65.30 area. NZUSD, we also had a potential level bottom or IHS neckline here. Not as nice. 60-minute buy signal is making target here too, so we're clearing out basically all the Forex buy and sell signals. ZB, we had a breakdown below the support, and I'm looking to see whether we've now got a channel. So bear with me a second. Looks as though it might be. But we saw a slight break below this not particularly significant support trend line, and we have made a low, and we've gone up directly from that. So message of this morning is basically that we've been seeing downside on the US dollar and upside on ZB. So I'm going to mark that in as a decent support trend line here, and let's see if we've got anything matching. Maybe. I'll leave that there and we'll see whether or not that delivers anything. But we've seen a very nice move up here. I'll be looking at more of that over the weekend, but for now, that is what it is. On ZN, we can't actually see, you can see the price here, but for some reason the chart wasn't updating earlier. Let's see if it'll do that now. I have, as I mentioned. No, it's still not updating. So obviously it doesn't like updating while we're out of RTH, but nonetheless, we are looking at a significant move up here, and that is mirroring the move that we are seeing on ZB. So that's looking pretty good. I was saying, obviously, on both ZB and ZN that ZN I'm expecting to see a retest of this high here, and ZB I'm expecting to see a retest of this high here. This is a good step on the way to that. CL hasn't really moved with the labour numbers. Possible head and shoulders forming here. 6-minute sell signal has reached the possible near miss target HO. We are retesting this low here. It could potentially be the second lower double bottom. There's a big disparity between HO and RBOB here. This is gasoline. Gasoline had a much larger move up. Modest retracement here, coming back and testing the monthly pivot at 2.1381, but this has very much been the strongest. Looking at NG, we've got 6-minute buy signal that's reached the possible near miss target. We have broken over declining resistance and seem to be converting that at the moment, so I'm leaning towards seeing a rally. This could be a bottoming pattern forming. We shall see. GC, we saw some fireworks on GC this morning on the labour numbers. I'm not quite sure what they came in. I'll get an explanation later. But this is looking pretty promising. We've reached a possible chest neckline. We're slightly over the new monthly pivot. Waiting to see if we see a pullback for a right shoulder here. 60-minute buy signal has fixed. Yes, that's now fixed because obviously the hour ended 4 minutes ago. SI. Nice looking double bottom here. The 60-minute buy signal is now getting close to the possible near miss target. Sorry, nice looking double top. We've got a target below in about 35.4 to 35.6 area, and I'm not seeing anything compelling to say that isn't going to be made, but we are seeing the rally that was looking likely from the buy signals here. Palladium, this could be a head and shoulders which has broken down. It's not a great example. I'm not entirely convinced, but we've also got, if this were to break down and suddenly fail, we've got a potential level bottom here which could take us back up to retest the high. I'm wondering if we might see that here. Platinum, we've got a nice looking double bottom here. It hasn't broken up yet, but obviously we had a head and shoulders, it made target, and we had a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing, which has now fixed. I'm wondering about, again, a strong rally here. HG, we got a weak 6-minute buy signal fix, only a weak one because we didn't actually have much of a second low, but we did have something. So I have marked it as a signal, although I couldn't do the equivalent on SPX because really there was nothing. We had a very nice looking double top, which annoyingly broke down extremely suddenly and made 200% of the target. Looks like we're seeing a little rally here. I'm not expecting to see an awful lot. Looking at KC, KC. This is likely a bearish consolidation. Sooner or later, I'm expecting it to retest this low in the 277 area, so that might be sooner rather than later. No particularly obvious pattern formed here. Sugar, we've got still a possible IHS here, but as I said yesterday, this is not aging like fine wine. If we don't see a move up towards the IHS neckline here, we might just be failing back into the low. And I would say there is a potential head and shoulders here to take us back to that low, although it's a bit oversized. CC, nice looking IHS, which is broken up with a target in the 9900 area. That could be failing. Still thinking about it. CT, we broke down from the triangle. The obvious target for that triangle is a retest this low here in the 66.25 area. And at the moment, I'm not seeing anything suggesting really we're not going to make that target. So I'm leaning towards seeing that. Lumber, this is in an uptrend. We've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing here, but it's nothing compelling. Nothing strong suggesting we're about to see a turn here, and certainly no topping pattern. ZW, I've been just basically marking leaning lower here, and we are going lower here at the moment. We got a 6-minute buy signal fix that's delivered almost nothing so far. Corn, we're seeing a bit of a rally here. Double bottoms broken up with a target, quite an attractive target back up at the monthly pivot area 41.25. We will see. We do have an open target here for something I'd expected to see made, even though it wasn't actually the formal head and shoulder target, and that's a retest this low at 407.5. On soy, we actually made the retest of that low, and it's continued to go lower. Weak 6-minute buy signal has fixed, but it's really not doing a great deal so far. So we will see whether it delivers anything more, but at the moment this is just sliding down. I've got nice downside targets on all of these, which haven't been made yet, although soy is the closest. On soybean oil, I was talking about the double top support and the rising support here being in closer to each other, and we've broken down from both. If this is sustained, then the double top target would be down here at about the 52.2 area. Looking at live cattle, we've seen a bit of a retracement here, back test of the weekly pivot. No topping pattern yet, but if we see a retest and fail, then this could be an interesting topping setup. HE, still looking at the megaphone resistance, that still hasn't been broken. We've got another little top here which is breaking down, but it's not really showing much interest at the moment in going in either direction. All right, great. Managed to get to the end. Hoping that wasn't too chopped up. So everyone have a great weekend. I'll catch you again on Monday.